Black Lives Matter is a very wonderful movement, and it is very important at this point in time. But just like other Western activism, it's not a complete solution. For victimization to occur, there is also lapses or weakness on the part of the person being victimized. And as long as that weakness remain on the part of the person being victimized, there will always be victimization, because people will always want to take advantage of that weakness. So to have a complete solution to a problem of discrimination, society, the society or the group of the community of people being discriminated have to take a degree of personal responsibility. But the problem with Western movement is that they feel that if they make the people to take personal responsibility, it will divert the attention of the movement. It will divert the blame from the people victimizing them and focus the blame on the people being victimized. And this is why most of the time what they achieve is just one leg of the journey. It's a temporal solution, just like feminism. Most of what they do end up being a temporal solution. It gives them moment of attention, and after that they go in. But that is not what activism should be about. It should be about permanent solution. And to create that permanent solution, the people being victimized must take personal responsibility. Now, when it comes to Black Lives Matter, we after making attacking the white people and then calling them racist and all that, and making protests, and the society has created listening to an extent and created opportunity. The people doing this should also be inspired by this movement to take personal responsibility for their lives, to take personal responsibility for the sake of their children. Otherwise, 1,000 years from now, black people will still be saying, don't discriminate us for the color of our skin, don't do this, don't do that to us. At some point it will just get boring. So when we are doing this Black Lives Matter, and every black person on this planet, whether they are living in America or anywhere, we felt the pain. We know we will be discriminated. I know if I go to USA tomorrow, I will be discriminated. I know if I go to any country in the world that is not Africa, I will be discriminated. So it's something that leaves a permanent fear in our mind. It's something that affects us permanently. It affected every black person in the world. So it's not because it's happening only in America. The problem is that America is a society that is even good enough to give opportunity for people to protest and they express their aggressions. Most other society did not give that opportunity. That's one thing you must recognize America for. No matter how bad you think they look, they always give that opportunity for everybody to express their opinion. And that is very good. That's one thing a civilized society must do. Something Nigeria is incapable of doing, actually. Now, getting back to Black Lives Matter, you find out that the only way to create this permanent solution to racism is to ask ourselves, where is the weaknesses in us as black people that makes it easy for them to victimize us? Is it really only about the color of our skin? No, I don't think so. Racism is about two things: the color of our skin, which also include our genetic makeup and everything. Second is our economic underdevelopment. We must take this responsibility. And what is sustaining racism in the world today is not the color of our skin. The color of our skin originated it. Then it required economic underdevelopment to sustain it. So what is sustaining racism today is our economic development. Let me make myself clear. When white people came to colonize us in Africa, if they had arrived in Africa and they realized that Africans were living in skyscrapers, going to the moon, that we are so developed that they can't imagine that such development is possible, white people will never be racist against us. They will never be racist. So our economic underdevelopment is very important to the discrimination we are receiving. We must take that personal responsibility. Now, the racism have continued till today. That's why most white people will tell you that they are not racist. Why they tell you is that they don't think it's actually the color of the skin that is making them to discriminate you. What is making them to discriminate is the fact that black people have remained that one single race that has proven themselves to be incapable of developing as a community, as a race, economically. Come to most African countries are in shambles. You go to the black American community in Africa, most of them they are economically lesser than others. It doesn't matter the origin or what caused it. What I'm talking about is about taking personal responsibility today to change that situation by yourself, not just waiting for white people to come and change it for you. We can change it by ourselves. That degree of responsibility it is very necessary. It is required in the movement. We have to put it as part of the movement. I am making it part of the movement. If I will ever complain of racism, I will look at the African community and I will say, what will you actually look at? How will you see Africans if you're the most developed race and you look at them and they are underdeveloped? It does not matter the history, the Egyptian history. It does not matter whether you are the first people on the earth. What is sustaining it is economic underdevelopment. That wherever Africans exist as community, they still remain the poorest people in that community. Even when they are independent, they still remain the poorest. So the black American community should come together and ask themselves, how will we develop ourselves so that our community, despite everything we have gone through, so that our community will be richer and more developed than the white community. A lot of white people, due to the activism, which is one leg of the journey, have done that to attract a lot of white people's attention to our situation. Some of them are ready to help to make sure this is achieved. So this is the time to move in and start taking this type of action. That is what activism is for. Is to create this opportunity for you to take that personal responsibility and then develop. Here in Africa, our African leaders will understand that the abuse of political power, the embezzlement of money just made them lesser human beings. That money they're embezzling and keeping for their children and their great-grandchildren is not going to help their children and their great-grandchildren. Because whenever their children steps outside of Africa to this Western world, they will be looked down upon. They will be seen as lesser human beings. Not because of the color of their skin. The color of their skin just mark them. These are the people that fail to develop. These are the lesser human beings. The most advanced nation to think of us like that. If they realize that, they will invest that money in building their society, knowing that the dignity of African person in the current world is how advanced and how developed the African society is. That is our dignity at this point in time. And that is the reason, the fact that we have made it underdeveloped is the reason why we don't have dignity. We must get to that level of honesty in ourselves. Take that level of personal responsibility. If the African leaders can take that responsibility and we build African nations, we have enough resources to be richer than Dubai if we start investing in it. If Africans will do that, there will be no more racism. White people will be bringing their women here to come and get pregnant and then give birth to African children. They will consider us the higher race. So economy is very, very important, and that economy is something we have to solve by ourselves. It's something we have to take personally and pursue it with a sense of purpose. That is how the white people achieve the level of economic achievement. That's how China is achieving the economic advancement. It's with a sense of purpose, personal responsibility. There is no way people will take full responsibility for your bad condition. Africans must be aware of it. No amount of activism is going to make white people to take full responsibility. Activism is just one leg of the journey. It is temporal, and it creates temporal solution. Permanent solution requires personal responsibility. And when Africans go there and you're taking that personal, consider that personal responsibility as part of the activism. That zeal with which they march into the street, protesting, that anger, rearrange it and put it into developing the community where you live, into building the society where you live, making sure there is no crime in the society where you live, making sure you don't. So it's not so that you realize that the cops that we see over black man and shoot the black man will no longer shoot the black man if black community is more developed than the white society, white community. No country in the world will be harassing Nigerians as they are harassing Nigerians today if Nigeria is as developed as Dubai. So we must take this personal responsibility. It's very, very important. The Western world, Americans will never tell you this because, as like I said, they will think it will channel the attention to, it will remove the blame from the people. It doesn't matter who is being blamed. What matters is that you got solution to what you're fighting for. To me, that's what matters. If I have to fight for something, is to get the solution to that thing. So it doesn't matter who is being blamed. They have been blamed. Many of them accepted it. They know they are also responsible for the problem. If they are taking personal responsibility, we have to take personal responsibility. And if we fail to take that personal responsibility, we have ruined everything. Over 1,000 years, we will come back and still be doing Black Lives Matter 1,000 years from now. And it will be a big shame. It will be our own failure. Okay.